Hey guys, it's Brandon from BrandonMLewin.com. Hope you guys are doing well. Today, we're going to talk about prospecting, but prospecting on LinkedIn. This is a great tool. I've been using this for a very long time in prospecting, have had a ton of results from doing this, and I have a specific method. So I'm going to show you some of it, not all of it, because it's very detailed. It's better suited for like an hour long. I actually taught a course on prospecting with LinkedIn and using LinkedIn. That is actually 4 weeks long, about 4 hours in total. So we're going to try to cram as much possible in about 10 to 15 minutes. So let's get started. So if you've already watched the video on the strategy side of turning a cold lead into a hot lead, then you'll have a lot of this stuff already set up. But you need to have a plan. More so, you need to make sure you have your audience, the value that you're going to add to that person that you reach out to, and the form of communication you're going to take them to. So it's really important before we get started with LinkedIn. If you haven't done that already, pause the video, watch or go back and watch the strategy, get all that written down, and then come back to this. All right, now that you have it, let's go into it. So what we're going to do here is there's a couple different ways you can search for people. You can either search for someone by the direct name and write it in there and their name will pop up. Or, and what we're going to really focus more on is searching by either position, CEO, partner, principal, vice president, marketing director, whoever it may be, or by industry. And in this example, we're going to search by position. So let's put in owner. So I'm going to type in owner and I'm going to hit enter. So I put in the search box up here, typed in owner, hit enter. Now what we're going to see is that we're going to have about 12 million results that pop up right here. If you see this, 12 million, well, almost close to 12.7 million results that pop up for owner. What we want to do is narrow it down. And so we're going to start to filter, and the filter is going to come on the left-hand side. So we're going to hit people, and we're then going to, once we get to people, what we're going to want to focus on is, for this example again, we're going to focus on second degree connections. We do have a number, as you can see here, I have about close to 500 first degree connections that fall under the keyword owner. So I could, if I haven't already tapped into that resource, I could go into it and focus in on that. But we're not going to do that. We're going to focus in on second degree connections. And you can do group members as well. But again, there's so much to go through. We're just only going to really focus on the second degree connections. So we're going to click on here. And it's going to reduce it down from 12.77 million results to 218,000. So not bad. Still not quite manageable yet. And so we're going to continue to filter this down. Where we're going to go here is locations. So if you've written this down in your strategy part of everything, you're going to know what locations you want to focus in on. And you might have multiple locations, so you can do that. You can always save results or save the searches. You could always come back to this. It's really not that hard once you know how to do it. And so we're going to focus, for me, I'm going to focus on New York. And I'm going to click on New York here. If it doesn't pop up, if you're looking for like Spain or Germany or something along those lines that's not showing up in the location, you can always hit add here and type it in. Like if we put in Germany, we could type in Germany and Germany would pop up. We could just click on that and it would pull up the results. But we're going to focus on New York here. So I have secondary connections. I have New York. I'm going to pass the current company because I'm not really focused on that. Industry though, industry is important. I'm in marketing and advertising, so getting people who are in marketing and advertising isn't going to make sense for me. Real estate does, health and wellness does, financial service, informational technology, that does as well. So I can click on all those, and I can even add a few in here if I wanted to, like internet. I could look at the internet. That's another one that pops up. I could do law if I wanted to do law, but for the sake of the example and the time that we have, I'm going to keep it right here. So just for you, just click on the industries that you want to focus in on. Maybe it's just one, maybe it's multiple, up to you. Now, if you pay for your LinkedIn Premium membership, then you have some of these other advanced ones like years of experience, function, seniority level, company size. And so I could click on here. If I want to do small businesses, I could do 1 to 10. And I'm really starting to narrow it down. So that's why that strategy part is really important. So now that we've gone there and we've found a few people, so what we've gone from is from 12.77 million results to 270 that are really focused, that are people that we can definitely reach out to. We want to start, now that we're there, we're going to look through the results and start to find people that we want to talk to. So I might come across and see this guy Andrew here, and it looks like he's owner and founder of Smeagol, and it's an internet-based company. And what I could do is look at the shared connections and say, all right, we both know Matt Dickman, which I know pretty well. Dan Schwabel, I don't know very well. So for one of the approaches that we're going to talk about in a second, I'll need to use Matt if I choose to go that route. But let's not get there. We're not there yet. Let's just click on Andrew's profile. We want to take a look at his profile and do a little browsing, a little background, check some things out. So he doesn't have a very extensive profile, which to me, that means that he's not very active on here. That doesn't mean he's a bad connector or a bad connection for me. It just means that if I reach out to him on LinkedIn, he might not respond, or it might take a while. So those are things you need to keep in mind. If they don't look like they're very active or they don't have a full profile, that can mean that they're not going to necessarily reach out to you via LinkedIn, which means that we're going to have to go to the different route. So before we even get there, we want to check out his website. We want to click on his websites. And let's say hypothetically, Andrew is a good person for me, or on paper or on the internet, from what we could find, he seems like he could be a good prospect. He might need some marketing help. And so what I would do here, and because again, he's not active on LinkedIn, I'm going to have to take one approach and really have only one option, and which will be the best option, which is to reach out to Matt personally and write Matt an email or give him a call and say, hey Matt, I found this guy on LinkedIn. His name is Andrew Masick, and he is the owner of Smeagol. I was wondering, how do you know him? Can you give me some background? And go and just leave it as that. You know, if you call him, then you can have a little back and forth. If you email, just leave it at that. What's going to happen is one of two things. He's either going to respond and say, you know what, this is Andrew, blah, blah, blah. He might say outright just say, I think he's a great connection for you. I can make an introduction. He might just say, this is the person, and then you could respond to ask him ask him a little bit more questions, and then find out if he can make an introduction for you. Now, Matt could also respond, and this is the other possibilities, that he says, Andrew is just not a good person. I don't know why I'm still connected with him, blah, blah, blah. You don't know who these people are, but you want to get that feeling from that person that is the connection between the two of you. That is that bridge. So find out from them and see what it is. If it's a good fit, then ask them for that email introduction. And that is one approach. Now, here is the other approach that we'll end on, is that let's go here. I found Dawn, and Dawn is owner of Body Wisdom, and I see she knows Marcus Riley and Andrea. I know Marcus. Andrea, I don't know very, very well. So the reaching out like I would with Matt wouldn't necessarily be the best possible way, because I might not get a response from those people, which does happen. And again, even if you didn't know those people, you could still take this approach. But I'm going to look over her profile. I'm going to say, you know what, looks great. I'm going to check out her website. I'm gonna look into her business. She looks like she could possibly use some help, or I could add some value to her right away. I have a workshop that's coming up, definitely a free workshop that she could come to, or a free webinar, and I think she could really get some value out of this. So let's do this. Let's connect with her. When we get to this box, we're going to click on, there's a couple different options here, and in most cases what you want to do is you want to click on friend. And in the friend box, you want to clear out this default message, and this is going to be something that you should do no matter whether you know them or not. Definitely take 2 seconds. It really just takes 2 seconds to wipe out this default message and put in something very custom. Just say, hey, I checked out your profile, love to connect. Or, hey, we just met at this networking event, let's connect. Or, hey, it's been a while, let's connect, love to catch up. Whatever the case may be, whether you know them or not, make it personal. All right, it takes 2 seconds and it goes a really long way. It's the small things that go a really long way. So do that. All right. Beyond that, in this approach, you're going to wipe out this, and what you're going to do is you're going to construct a personalized message to Dawn, and this is going to be something that you're going to want to create for everyone that you reach out to. And really what you're going to start off with is, we don't know each other, however we share blank. So you can share, we both know Marcus, or we both are part of this group, because you could use this for people who are in your group as well. But we don't know each other. You want to just get that out of the way right off the bat, and say how you are connected, and then tell them why you're reaching out, and again, think of the value you're going to bring to them. It looks like you're running this business. I have some clients and I would love to offer them some of your services. I have people in New York that I know, would love to connect. Would you be open to an introductory phone call? There you go. So we talked about, we said right off the bat that we don't know each other. We shared how we are, so that it builds a little bit of trust. Then in the middle of it, we say that why and what value that we're reaching out to that person for. And then at the end, we have a call to action. It's a question, so it does spark a response. And then it also is asking for that other form of communication. That is the message. That is the way you want to construct this. Now, keep in mind, you have about 370 characters to work with, so you have to keep it really brief. There are advanced ways to expand on that message and have more possibilities or more characters to use, but that's a whole nother subject. All right, so that is the message that you want to use. You write in that message, you send the invitation, and then you wait for the response. There's a couple different responses that can come out of this. One, Dawn could not connect with me and ignore me, and that's perfectly fine. That'll happen. The other possibility is that she connects with me but doesn't respond, which is good. That is probably the next best thing than to getting her to connect and responding. Just to get her to connect with you still gives you the in to send her messages, and that's when you can actually elaborate and you can send a more detailed message. Make sure it's custom and not very canned and not salesy. Again, not salesy or pushy. Make it genuine, make it helpful, make it something that you're adding value to, but you can add that message then. Also, even if you send her a message again and she doesn't respond, she still is going to see your updates. So if you're providing really quality content, you're talking about stuff, maybe you put out a link to your upcoming webinar or event, there's still a way for her to see that, and she will see that, and there's still ways for you guys to connect. So it doesn't have to be direct. And then on top of that, on average, every person on LinkedIn has about 250 connections, and that probably has gone up. It's probably close to like 400 now. So what you have done is by connecting with Dawn, you've also expanded your secondary connections, and now you have more people that you could possibly do the same approach with. All right. So that's the second best possibility, that it's the outcome. The best possibility is that she connects and responds to you, and then you can get back to her. And that only really happens, and it does happen, it happens quite a bit. That's where I see the 50% response rate come in. It only really happens though if everything is working together. If you create the message the right way, your profile's constructed the right way, you have the good content, you have a good brand, you have a good picture, you have a good headline, you have a good website, all that has to work together, and that's when things will really start to click. So that's it. There you go. I said I'd keep this about 15 minutes. Going to go a little bit over. Two approaches on how to do this. There's a couple different ways of how to do prospecting on LinkedIn, but these are the best two ways to go about it. So start there. If you have any questions, leave some comments in the comment box below. Please let me know anything that comes to mind. Or even if it's some results, maybe you try this and you got some really good results. Let me know. I want to hear from you. Leave those comments down below. And also make sure you check out the other social channels. So there might be, you want to look at Twitter or Google+. There's links at the end of this video for that as well. All right. And make sure you share this with your friends. If you found this useful, share with your friends and subscribe. Please help me out. Subscribe. Check out the website. I will talk to you guys later. See ya. Peace.